Have you ever wondered what's at the bottom of the ocean? Well, scientists just discovered 5,000 new creatures. Plus, we have an update on the debt ceiling this morning. I'm Jeff Pierre, and this is The 7 from The Washington Post. It's Friday, May 26th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. A deal to prevent a catastrophic debt default in the U.S. is moving closer to reality. Last night, negotiators were inching closer to a deal that would raise the limit on the amount of money the government can borrow for 2 years in exchange for cuts to its spending. But they're running out of time to finalize the details. In as few as 6 days, the U.S. may not be able to pay all of its obligations. That could crash the stock market, spike interest rates, and even lead to missed Social Security and Medicare payments. Number 2 is a Washington Post exclusive. 2 of Donald Trump's employees moved boxes of papers the day before a visit by FBI agents. This took place in late June at Mar-a-Lago, the former president's Florida home. It was right before FBI agents and a prosecutor came to retrieve classified documents he kept there. This new detail could help prosecutors determine Trump's intent in keeping hundreds of documents after he left the White House in 2021. That will be a key factor in the decision whether to file charges against him. Number 3. The longest January 6th prison sentence so far was handed down yesterday. It was given to Stewart Rhodes, the founder of the Oath Keepers. That's a right-wing extremist group. He was sentenced to 18 years for seditious conspiracy after leading a violent plot to prevent Congress from certifying Joe Biden's election victory. The judge described Rhodes as a disturbingly charismatic figure who manipulated his followers to bring firearms to D.C. and to prepare for battle ahead of the 2021 attack on the Capitol. Zooming out here, the investigation into the pro-Trump riot is the biggest in American history. Hundreds of people have been charged, but Rhodes is the highest profile person so far. Number 4. Lawmakers in Texas recommended impeaching Attorney General Ken Paxton. A state House committee backed the move in a vote yesterday. It sets the stage for a potential ousting of the state's top lawyer, who was reelected to a 3rd term last year. The panel cited Paxton's alleged efforts to protect a donor from an FBI investigation and attempts to block whistleblower complaints by his staff. An impeachment vote in the state House is expected soon. Number 5. The Supreme Court weakened the government's power to protect U.S. wetlands. In a 5-4 ruling yesterday, justices cut back the EPA's ability to enforce the Clean Water Act, saying the agency's interpretation of its power went too far. The ruling could stop the EPA from putting protections on as much as 118 million acres of wetlands. For perspective here, that's an area larger than the landmass of California. Several other important Supreme Court decisions are expected to come this term. You can find a link to the Post Tracker in our newsletter. Number 6. Scientists discovered 5,000 sea creatures that nobody knew existed. They include species that look like partially peeled bananas, others that resembled upside-down chandeliers, and an octopus named after Casper the Friendly Ghost. The weird and awe-inspiring creatures were found in a new analysis of a potential deep-sea mining hotspot in the Pacific. The research warned that mining the area may come at a cost to other undiscovered creatures. Number 7. Memorial Day weekend will be one of this year's busiest travel seasons. Around 42 million people are expected to travel more than 50 miles from home. That's up 7% from last year. It'll be a big test for airlines after the chaos that marred pandemic-era travel. The number of people traveling by cruise, bus, or train is also expected to rise more than 20% compared to last year. So if you're headed out of town, here's some advice. Get to the airport or station as early as possible, and watch out for possible disruption from storms in the southeast. That's the show for this week. As I was just saying, this is a holiday weekend, and Monday is Memorial Day. So we'll be back with the podcast on Tuesday, but you can still read the 7 on Monday. If you've never seen the written version, you can find a link to it in our show notes. That's where you can see videos of those new sea creatures, and make sure you subscribe. And one more big thing. You should listen to the next episode of Post Reports. My colleagues are talking about movies, specifically the most anticipated new film of the holiday weekend, the live-action Little Mermaid, and the animated musical that started it all. The assistant producer of The 7 is Taylor White. The staff writers are Tess Homan and Jamie Ross. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Copy editing by Francis Moody and Melissa No. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. I'm Jeff Pierre, and I'll meet you back here on Tuesday.